Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one. And the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline, and if there's anything that isn't quite working for you or anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. Today's video is about sharpening up your wisdom in Vipassana using a little framework that in Pali we call Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupadana, Padatana, which in English we translate as characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause. Now, in order to do this practice, we first need to be familiar with all of the different types of materiality and mentality. We also need to be familiar with the 12 links of dependent origination. Now, I've made separate videos on all of those, so if you haven't done so already, I suggest that you go away, familiarize yourself with those different types of materiality, of mentality, the 12 links of dependent origination, so that you're ready to do this practice. Now, as we do familiarize ourselves with these different types of materiality, mentality, dependent origination, we start to realize that we're working with very, very subtle aspects of reality. So subtle that sometimes the question might arise, how can we even be sure that these things exist? And when we're sure that they exist, how can we be sure that we're seeing them differently? For example, how can we be sure that what we're observing is mindfulness and not attention, or it's vitakka, applied thought, and not sustained thought? What is it that makes these things distinct from each other, these very subtle realities? This is where the teaching of Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupadana, Padatana comes in, because each of these realities has its individual characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause. And that, in essence, is how we define that ultimate reality. It's the metrics by which we know it exists, because it has its characteristic, its function, its manifestation, and its proximate cause. And the characteristic, function, manifestation, proximate cause will be different for each type of materiality, each type of mentality, and each link of dependent origination. So, how do we do this in practice? Well, I'm not going to list all of the different types of characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause in this one short video, because we'd be here for a very long time. Instead, I'm going to put that information on my website for you so you can take a look at it there. But I will give you one quick example. Let's take, for example, the water element. The water element has as its characteristic flowing, oozing, trickling, running, all of these things that we commonly associate with water. It has as its function the intensifying of the materialities that co-arise with it. It has as its manifestation the cohesion or the holding together of the other materialities in the same kalapa. And it has as its proximate cause the other three elements, so the earth element, fire element, and wind element within the same kalapa. So, in practice, what we would do would be to discern the materiality in the body until we can clearly see the individual kalapas arising and passing away. We would then discern the water element in one of those kalapas. We would see if we could first discern its characteristic. When we feel confident with its characteristic, we would then discern its function, then its manifestation, and then its proximate cause. We could then repeat that for the water element in kalapas in the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, kalapas in the heart base, kalapas in each of the 32 parts, until we really feel confident that we have the Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupadana, Padatana, the characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause very clear for the water element. We can repeat that same basic process with all of the 28 different types of materiality, with all 52 mental factors, cetasika, with all of the different types of consciousness, and with the 12 links of dependent origination. So, that's what I have to say today on the practice of Lakkhana, Rasa, Pachupadana, Padatana. Characteristic, function, manifestation, proximate cause. It's a great tool for sharpening up our wisdom on the objects of Vipassana, the nama, rupa, cause and effect, the objects of Vipassana, before we continue to deepen our Vipassana jnana. If there's anything that's unclear to you or anything you're unsure about, then be in touch. I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis, so I encourage you to support me either through Patreon or through my website so that I can continue to make these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.